God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open, all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Father, today we will forgive. Forgive your world and let creation be your own. We have misunderstood all things, but we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created sinless, so abides forever and forever. Such we are, and we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes which have no real effects, no real effects on us. Sin is impossible, and on this fact, forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world, the shadow world we see. Help us forgive, we would be redeemed. Help us forgive, for we would be at peace. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Well, thank you all so much for joining me here on Christmas Eve. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness best I can so I can learn it and share it with as many people as want to learn it to save the world. Here from the Ozarks. I'm teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks. Thank you again for joining me today. Here on Lesson 359, we're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. And we'll start again on Lesson 1 here on January the 1st. Today it's lesson for Tuesday, December the 24th of 2024. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy, all prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Father, today we will forgive the world and let creation be your own. We have misunderstood all things, but we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created sinless, so abides forever and forever. Such are we. What you created sinless, so abides forever and forever. Such are we, sinless. And we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes, which have no real effect on us. And we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes, which have no real effects on us. Sin is impossible. And on this fact, forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world we see. Help us forgive, for we would be redeemed. Help us forgive, for we would be at peace. Let go of what is not real. The idea of sin, it's imagination. It's a feverish imagination of what is not real. God didn't make it, and it cannot be. Now, you can dream it real, and our power of the power of a son of God is as great as his Father. It's just he's misusing his power. But God protects him so that it doesn't have any real effects, his misuse. It can affect the world he lives in, and that can change, and it can seem real, but that doesn't make it any more a cause of anything. Again on the lesson, God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy, all prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Try your best for your longer meditation morning and evening, and sit in the silence and get to know about what you're thinking, and give those thoughts to God. Let him teach you in the silence. And then every hour of the day today, try to bring it to your memory. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are opened, and only sin, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. And our associated reading will sing it. What am I? What am I? What am I? I am God's son, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of his love. In me is his creation, sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. In me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without opposite. I am the holy home of God himself. I am the heaven where his love resides. I am the holy sinlessness. I am his holy sinlessness. I am his holy sinlessness, sinlessness itself. For in my purity abides his own, and in his purity abides his own. Our use for words is almost over now, yet in the final days of this 1 year we gave to God together, you and I. We found a single purpose that we shared, and thus you join with me. So what I am are you as well. The truth of what we are is not for words to speak of nor describe, yet we can realize our function here. And words can speak of this and teach it too, if we exemplify the words in us. We are the bringers of salvation. We accept our part as saviors of the world, which through our joint forgiveness is redeemed. And this our gift is therefore given us. We look on everyone as brother, and perceive all things as kindly and as good. We do not seek a function that is past the gate of heaven, where knowledge will return when we have done our part. We are concerned only with giving welcome to the truth. We are concerned only with giving welcome to the truth. Ours are the eyes through which Christ's vision sees a world redeemed from every thought of sin. Ours are the ears that hear the voice for God proclaim the world as sinless. Ours the minds that join together as we bless the world. And from the oneness that we have attained, we call to all our brothers, asking them to share our peace and consummate our joy. We are the holy messengers of God who speak for Him and carrying His word to everyone whom He has sent to us. We learn that it is written on our hearts, and thus our minds are changed about the aim for which we came, and which we seek to serve, We bring glad tidings to the Son of God, who thought He suffered, but now is He redeemed. And as He sees the gate of heaven stand open before Him, He will enter in and disappear into the heart of God. He will enter in and disappear into the heart of God. That's a good song for Christmas Eve. The true reason, who we are. We're the Christ who's come to set the world free. Okay, let's go take a look now in our Song of Prayer, Chapter 2, Forgiveness. And we're ready for Section 2, Forgiveness to Destroy. He used that term in the last section. Now he's going to define it a little better. Forgiveness to destroy. And be sure to keep with you. I should say it. For God's answer is some form of peace. You want to say this throughout the day. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Okay, now forgiveness to destroy in the Song of Prayer. Forgiveness to destroy has many forms, being a weapon of the world of form. Forgiveness to destroy has many forms, being a weapon of the world of form. Not all of them are obvious, and some are carefully concealed beneath what seems like charity. Yet all the forms that it may seem to take have but this single goal. Their purpose is to separate and make what God created equal different. Okay, so forgiveness to destroy seeks to separate and divide us, and to think that we're not all equal with God, that some of us are different and not one with God. The difference is clear in several forms where the designed comparisons cannot be missed, nor is it really meant to be. Paragraph 2. In this group, first there are the forms in which a better person designs to stoop to save a baser one from what he truly is. The word better and baser are in quotes because we're really not, those aren't distinctions that are in reality. Forgiveness here rests on an attitude of gracious lordliness, so far from love that arrogance could never be dislodged. Who can forgive and yet despise? And who can tell another he is steeped in sin, and yet perceive him as the Son of God? Who makes a slave to teach what freedom is? There is no union here, but only grief. There is no union here, but only grief. This is not really mercy. This is death. 3. Another form, still very like the first, if it is understood, does not appear in quite such blatant arrogance. The one who would forgive the other does not claim to be the better. Now he says instead that here is one whose sinfulness he shares, since both have been unworthy and deserve the retribution of the wrath of God. This can appear to be a humble thought, and may indeed induce a rivalry in sinfulness and guilt. I've been worse than you are. This can appear to be a humble thought and may indeed induce a rivalry in sinfulness and guilt. It is not love for God's creation and the holiness that is his gift forever. Can his Son condemn himself and still remember him? Wow, we want to remove condemnation completely, even if it's towards ourselves. Paragraph 4. Here the goal is to separate from God the Son he loves and keep him from his source. This goal is also sought by those who seek the role of martyr at another's hand. Here must the aim be clearly seen, for this may pass as meekness and as charity instead of cruelty. Is it not kind to be accepting of another's spite and not respond except with silence and a gentle smile? Behold, how good are you who bear with patience and with saintliness the anger and the hurt another gives, and do not show the bitter pain you feel. He's saying that's how a lot of martyrs do. You know, they feel terrible, but they don't show it. They've risen above that, but they're still believing they've been hurt. They're not living in their invulnerability. Paragraph 5. Forgiveness to destroy will often hide behind a cloak like this. It shows the face of suffering and pain and silent proof of guilt and of the ravages of sin. Such is the witness that it offers one who could be Savior, not an enemy. But having been made enemy, he must accept the guilt and heavy-laid reproach that thus is put upon him. Is this love? Or is it rather treachery to one who needs salvation from the pain of guilt? What could the purpose be except to keep the witnesses of guilt away from love? Paragraph 6. Forgiveness to destroy can also take the form of bargaining and compromise. I will forgive you if you meet my needs, but in your slavery is my release. I will forgive you if you meet my needs, for in your slavery is my release. That's often in relationships. You know, I'll do this in order to be part of the relationship. Instead of just letting your neighbor be themselves, you may let your partner be themselves, and you learn to accept your invulnerability and know that you can always bless regardless of the way your partner is. Okay? Forgiveness to destroy can also take the form of bargaining and compromise. I will forgive you if you meet my needs, for in your slavery is my release. Say this to anyone, and you are slave. And you will seek to rid yourself of guilt in further bargains which can give no hope, but only greater pain and misery. How fearful has forgiveness now become, and how distorted is the end it seeks. Have mercy on yourself who bargain thus. God gives and does not ask for recompense. There is no giving but to give like him. All else is mockery. For who would try to strike a bargain with the Son of God and thank his Father for his holiness? 7. What would you show your brother? Would you try to reinforce his guilt and thus your own? Forgiveness is the means for your escape. How pitiful it is to make of it the means for further slavery and pain. Within the world of opposites, there is a way to use forgiveness for the goal of God and find the peace he offers you. Take nothing else, or you have sought your death and prayed for separation from yourself. Christ is for all because he is in all. It is his face forgiveness lets you see. It is his face in which you see your brother. You can truly say, Namaste. I see the Christ in you, and I submit to it. I honor it. I honor God in you. Namaste. Christ is for all because Christ is in all. It is His face. Forgiveness lets you see. Forgiveness lets you see what's really there. It is His face in which you see your own. And the last paragraph, and don't ever stop in your forgiving thinking, well, I've seen their true nature because they did something evil. You haven't seen their true nature if you think you've seen something evil. You're still bargaining with them, or you're acting like a martyr or something. Okay, last paragraph 8. All forms forgiveness takes that do not lead away from anger, condemnation, and comparisons of every kind are death. Let's read that again. I've got that one underlined. I got it underlined twice, actually. All forms forgiveness takes that do not lead away from anger, condemnation, and comparisons of every kind are death. And that's forgiveness to destroy, and that's not what we want. For that is what their purpose have set. For that is what their purposes have set. Be not deceived by them, but lay them by as worthless in their tragic offerings. You do not want to stay in slavery. You do not want to be afraid of God. You want to see the sunlight and the glow of heaven shining on the face of earth, redeemed from sin and in the love of God. From here is prayer released along with you. Your wings are free, and prayer will lift you up and bring you home where God would have you be. Wow, that's the kind of forgiveness that joins with prayer and takes us home. Okay, and of course I already said it's Christmas Eve today, so Merry Christmas. It's also Last Minute Shoppers Day. I don't do much shopping on Christmas. I'm kind of, I don't know, I just hate to kind of do that. I usually get a little bit of something, but I try not to make a big deal out of it. Eggnog Day. You like eggnog? Today's your day. Okay, I kind of got a vegan eggnog that you can look up a good recipe for a vegan eggnog. A lot of times they have a lot of eggs in them, which I raise chickens. I could have eggnog that way, but a little heavy, not what I really want to eat. Okay, Bull's Blood Beets out of Seed Savers Exchange says the Bull's Blood beet, it's a Beta vulgaris, a cool weather plant that is as ornamental as it is tasty. This purple foliage variety can be used to produce 2 great crops for eating. The deliciously sweet leaves are perfect for adding to salads, but the variety can also be grown for its delectable baby roots. We suggest pickling the leaves at about 35 days. Selected by Dutch seedsman and Seed Savers Exchange member Kees Sayen in 1986 from the French variety Crapaudin for the darkest colored leaves, 35 days for baby leaf tops, 55 days for edible roots. And it's okay. It looks like it grows in nice cool weather. It might be a pretty border plant too. I don't know. Okay, well, let's close with our song, and Merry Christmas. Go about sharing the message of forgiveness. And I'll just tell you ahead of time, I've had a really difficult on this song getting the beats right. And I'll put in the song how many beats I thought were supposed to be in each one. Like 4 beats or 8 beats. But bear with me. I'll do the best I can. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Let's read that again. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open. All sin is understood as merely a mistake. That's better. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed. All misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open. And all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Father, today we will forgive your world and let creation be your own. We have misunderstood, understood all things but you, but we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created sinless, so abides forever and forever. Such we are, and we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes which have no real effects on us. Sin is impossible, and on this fact, forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world. The shadow world we see. Help us forgive, help us forgive. We would be redeemed. Help us forgive, help us forgive, for we would be at peace. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. And let's just read it one time through again, since I didn't get it sang as well as I really like. Let's just read through it. Father, today we will forgive your world and let creation be your own. We have misunderstood all things, but we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created sinless, so abides forever and forever. Such we are, and we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes which have no real effects on us. Sin is impossible, and on this fact forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world we see. Help us forgive, for we would be redeemed. Help us forgive, for we would be at peace. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy, all prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. And our word for peace is from the Sorbian people, the Upper Sorbian people, the Wendish, also known as the Wendish. They're a German, from Germany originally, Germany area. And the word is Pokoj. So Pokoj be with you. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are opened, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Pokoj. Pokoj.